Everyone, welcome back to Installation 00 and technically the 00 multiverse. Today we're diving into the Mass Effect universe and looking at the fundamental basis of the vast majority of the technology possible in universe and the meaning behind its very namesake. This should give us a good foundational understanding of the Mass Effect universe and make future videos a little easier to digest. Today we're looking at Element 0. Let's move. Element 0, also known as Eezo, is a rare material that when subjected to an electrical current releases dark energy. Despite its name, it's not actually a chemical element. Element 0 is merely the human nickname for this material, likely stemming from Andreas von Andelproff, having coined the term in 1926 for the conjectured element of atomic number 0 that he placed at the head of the periodic table. Element 0's characteristic emission of dark energy is a foundational basis of much of the exotic physics of the Mass Effect universe. Dark energy is the name given to the universal fifth force identified by astronomers during the late 20th century. Like gravity, dark energy influences all matter in the galaxy, and its effects can be seen on both cosmological and subatomic scales. The repulsive effects of dark energy are the primary reason the expansion of the universe is gradually accelerating. Dark energy can be manipulated into Mass Effect fields, raising or lowering the mass of all objects within that field. A positive current increases mass, a negative current decreases it. The stronger the current, the greater the magnitude of dark energy mass effect. In space, low mass fields allow FTL travel without causing time dilation by effectively reducing the apparent mass of the vehicle in question, while also enveloping the ship in a mass effect field that creates corridors of ultra-low mass and moves space debris out of the ship's path. This massively reduced apparent mass, coupled with the maintained energy coefficient of the engines, results in a much larger thrust-to-mass ratio of the vessel. Utilising a caveat in Einstein's famous E equals mc² equation, where the mass variable in this equation can be manipulated to be orders of magnitude smaller than it really is. But we will look at the specifics of this when we tackle faster than light travel in the Mass Effect universe at a later date. The Mass Effect field can enable inexpensive surface-to-orbit transit again by reducing the apparent mass of the ship, relieving the effects of planetary gravity wells on the ship's mainframe. In manufacturing, low mass fields can permit the creation of evenly blended alloys, allowing the desired mechanical properties to be consistent across the entire alloy, as opposed to having microscopic areas that have higher presence of certain metals as opposed to others. High mass compaction creates dense, sturdy construction materials. Using mass effect fields in this way is achieved by inducing a form of artificial gravity during the material's creation process. When forging and casting metals, the final finished metal's properties are dependent on the initial metal or metals that were used, along with the finishing process such as tempering, annealing, or quenching. Gravity has a very interesting effect on matter at the right levels, and gravity is normally the only variable we can't control during manufacturing. However, the Mass Effect fields can be used to control gravity and generate artificial gravity fields. This gravity field would have the effect of making each individual atom of the molten metal tens, hundreds, or even thousands of times as heavy as they normally are. This means the atoms would be crushed together closer and closer. As long as it doesn't bridge the gap between ultra-compressed and fusion, the result is a metal that is hyperdense. When humans discovered the Prothean ruins on Mars, they also discovered refined Element 0 that the Protheans had left behind. It enabled research into faster-than-light ship drives before the Charon relay was discovered. Eezo is generated when solid matter such as a planet is affected by the energy of a star going supernova. The material is common in the asteroid debris that orbits neutron stars and pulsars. These are dangerous places to mine, requiring extensive use of robotics, telepresence, and shielding to survive the intense radiation from the dead star. Only a few major corporations can afford the setup costs required to work these primary sources. Some planets have small Eezo deposits or coalesced around a larger deposit during their formation. While the secondary sources are safer to mine, the yield from the ore is not as large. There are rumours that the Nemean Abyss has particularly rich Eezo deposits. Dust form Element 0 is often released after engine accidents. It is used by many species to influence or strengthen the presence of biotics. Biotics is the ability of some life forms to create mass effect fields using element 0 nodules embedded in body tissues. These powers are both accessed and augmented by using bioamps. Biotic individuals can knock enemies over from a distance, lift them into the air, generate gravitational vortices to tear obstacles or enemies apart, or create protective barriers. If a child is exposed to dust form element 0 in utero, due to its mutagenic effects, there is a small chance they can develop Eezo nodules through their nervous system that react to electrical stimuli from the brain. This allows them to use biotic abilities, but many exposures have no effect or result in terminal cancer. There is some question about just how accidental some of these initial exposures were after the link between Eezo and biotics was established. Element 0 forms the basis of many of the advanced medicines throughout the Citadel space. The biotic drug Red Sand allegedly has element 0 at its base, according to urban legend. It was created by criminal triads on Mars from the element 0 samples recovered there. The SSV Normandy's massive Tantalus drive core cost 120 billion credits because of the amount of element 0 needed to power the stealth system. Overall, Eezo is the basis upon which huge swathes of technology and innovations are achieved. The discovery of Eezo on Mars in this regard acted as a physical and manipulatable proxy to the fundamental forces behind mass, and granted a means to engage with and influence dark energy. Since the universe is actually made up of 68% dark energy, 27% dark matter, meaning less than 5% of the universe is actual physical matter, Eezo and its use has unlocked 68% of the universe to physical beings otherwise incapable of interacting with this majority of the reality of the universe. As time goes on, what can be achieved with what is tantamount to a limitless supply of energy will be equally unlimited. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider hitting the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Be sure to like the video if you did, and pop a comment below on what you'd like me to cover next. I just want to take a moment to thank my patrons, Spartan10148, the Metarch of my facility, Falcon, Sophia, Mikhail, Ashley, Jordan and Esoteric Sight, my dutiful monitors, Darian, Legions Lost, Labrat, Spartan0137, Jacob Kemp, Sean, Element Zero, J3, Mr. Keys, Gunslinger, Evermore, Personal Devil, Aldeas, Toxic, Scion Esports, Gems Saber and Relentless, my diligent sub-monitors, my fleet of Strato Sentinels, my loyal enforcers, and all other patrons who continue to support the channel. If you want your name on the end of the video and some perks earned along the way, head over to Patreon and consider supporting the channel yourself. Big shout out to my Tier 0 Transcendent YouTube members, Spartan137, Jacob Kemp, Talia, Fenrir, Bornstella, Jimbo and Balaz, and all the other YouTube members keeping my installation running on that glorious vacuum energy, with a special mention to the Accursed Hunter. Shout out to John due to the mathematical formula used to determine the area within a pentadodecahedron. Oh, and Lena because that sandwich. And remember, there are tons of ways to support the channel and keep my installation pumping out content at a breakneck speed. Much love to you all, take it easy everyone, and find peace in the domain.